Welcome back from an ad break. We will continue with our topic. Grade 11 topic is conflict management. So now we are on the conflict management theories. We'll first explain conflict management. Like I said, we've got conflict in the workplace. It's a disagreement between individuals, and it might have a negative impact. But remember, I said conflict is not always negative. So firstly, we'll speak about conflict management. What is conflict management? Conflict management is the process of planning to prevent conflict. You must try by all means to prevent conflict where possible, and organizing to resolve conflict as quickly as possible. Remember, before the ad break, we did say that it can distract employees, and it might lead to stress, especially if it's not managed properly. So we need to manage or come up with solutions on how to resolve conflict. All right, conflict management theories are based on the two theories. What are those theories? These are the guidelines. We've got traditional theory and we've got the contemporary theory. All right, so with the traditional theory, what does it mean? It is based on the notion that conflict is bad. According to the traditional way, conflict is bad and should be avoided as it disturbs the running of an organization. This is the traditional theory. It says conflict is bad and should be avoided, and it disturbs the running of an organization because it causes distress, it causes stress rather, it causes they're distracted and all that. So this approach assumes that conflict is caused by troublemakers who do not identify with the goals of the organization. So according to this approach, it basically means that the people who are causing conflict are basically not wanted in the business. These are the wrong people. They are the troublemakers. They don't understand the goals or the objectives of the business. They are just pursuing their personal goals or personal objectives. So now, how can the business apply this, or when do they apply this? It says here businesses apply the traditional theories when quick decisions need to be made and individuals or workers do not have the necessary knowledge. So people that you're working with, they don't have the knowledge. Therefore, you have this conflict or this theory can now be applied. Dealing with serious issues, for example, criminal activities, that's when this theory is applied in the workplace. And then we go to the second one. Remember we said we've got two. We've got traditional and we've got contemporary. What does contemporary theory mean? It is based, or it's a theory that is based on the belief that conflict is a normal part of human interaction. If you remember when I started, I did say that conflict is not always negative, but the minute there's conflict, sometimes it's a sign that there's communication in the workplace. So this theory also explains that to say it is a normal part of human interaction. The minute there's more than one person in a group or in a team or in the workplace, there's bound to be conflict. And remember, I did say that conflict is not a fight, but it's simply a disagreement between individuals. So obviously we've got different opinions, and sometimes our opinions, they clashing of ideas, clashing of opinions, clashing of sometimes could be religion or religious beliefs. So conflict arises as a normal result of change. There's a change, therefore it leads to conflict. So businesses apply this contemporary theory when the following happens: when other people's views can lead to a positive outcome. Remember, I spoke about people's views. So when they lead to a positive outcome, that also speaks to what? It speaks to change. Businesses apply the contemporary theory when encouraging creative thinking in the workplace by putting two opposing ideas forward instead of choosing one idea over the other. So we allow people to think out of the box, to think creatively, come up with new ideas, because we understand that these ideas, when we're thinking creatively, we're able to generate what? Better solutions. And we need better solutions. We need to do things that have never been thought of before. We want to do things differently, because understanding that doing things differently does what? It brings in profit, it brings in sales. And when we've got more profit, what does that mean? We are able to now attract who? The investors, and that's what we want. We are portraying what? A positive image to the public. All right, so that is the end of the theories, contemporary theory. We're now off to what? We are done with conflict management theories. We're now going to the function of workplace forums. All right, as mentioned, there's conflict in the workplace. There's definitely going to be conflict in the workplace. Remember, I said to you, conflict does not mean a fight. It's not a fight. It's not a negative word. So what does it mean by the workplace forums? All right, a workplace forum is an elected organization consisting of employees in a workplace. I hope you can see the keyword here is of employees, and it's an elected organization. So a forum, it's like sort of a structure. A workplace forum is an elected organization that consists of employees in a workplace. There are no employers here, it's just employees, a group of people. Right. What happens, or when do we choose these group of people? It is a forum of employees of a business that employs more than 100 people. So the minute the business employs more than 100 people, then we can have a workplace forums. But when do we establish it, or how is it established? You can speak about that now. Workplace forums were introduced by the Labor Relations Act. You might ask yourself, what is that? Right, this is a legislation which basically, this legislation speaks about a relationship between who? Between the employer and the employees. To say there should be a relationship between the two, hence the word relations. So it's the relationship between the employer and the employees. So in order for employer and employees to forge that relationship, or to have, or to establish that relationship, then they're saying here, they establish, or it allows for the establishment of the workplace forums. Remember, in the past, we would find employees who are oppressing maybe or overworking the employees. So now, to try and stop that from happening, or to eradicate that from happening, workplace forums were introduced. As mentioned, it consists of employees in a workplace to allow the employees to also voice out their opinions, not to be oppressed, to speak out when they are not happy in the workplace. They are useful for promoting communication. Very important, like I said, they are able to voice out their opinions, their cries. If they're not happy, if they're being mistreated, then they can communicate. Minimizing and resolving conflict in the workplace. That is basically the whole point of having the workplace forums. But somebody might ask, but what is the purpose of the trade union then? We'll get to that just now. Right, what are the functions of the workplace forum? The function of this forum is to represent, keyword, you ask yourself, but isn't it the trade unions doing that as well? Are they not representing? I'm going to explain or tell you the difference between the two just now. The function of the forum is to represent the employees in that workplace and to consult and negotiate with the management about matters that are concerning the employees. Remember, we don't want employees, or the employers rather, making decisions without consulting or without involving the employees. So hence, we have workplace forums. In that workplace forums, there should be a leader who will then be able to be part of the decision making that is done by the employees, and then go and tell the other employees as to what was decided on. The purpose of a workplace forum is to prevent or reduce one-sided decision-making by employers that will affect employees. For as long as it affects employees, then employees should be consulted. They need to be consulted, and they should not be abused in the workplace. They should not be disregarded because they've got rights. The legislation, Labor Relations Act, it speaks of the rights of employees, to say they've got rights. They've got rights to go on a strike. If they're not treated unfairly, they've got the right to do that. Okay, the other function of the workplace forum aims to encourage worker participation in decision-making in the workplace. So they have the right, or they are encouraged to participate in decision-making. They should not be put aside, or they should not be neglected or marginalized in the workplace. So workplace forums aims to encourage that. Remember, I said to you, we're going to speak about the difference between the two, the trade unions and the workplace forums. Now, with the workplace forums, you don't have to pay a certain fee in order to be part of it. No. Unlike with a trade union, you are affiliated or you pay some fees to be part of it. So a trade union negotiates the salaries and wages, whereas workplace forums does not deal with the remuneration. Remember, we said it deals with what affects the employees, right? But salaries and wages, it affects them, but it's mostly about decision making. When they want to decide or to make a decision, they have to inform the workplace forum, the employees rather, they need to know. That's what the workplace forum is all about. So as the business, we cannot make decisions by ourselves without informing or without involving the employees. Right. However, understand that workplace forums does not negotiate the salaries and wages. So we cannot go to the forum and speak to the representative there to say, please go and represent us with regards to the salaries and wages. It doesn't work like that. So that is an issue for who? For the trade union. Right, a trade union can organize a strike under certain circumstances. If they are unhappy, maybe they're being mistreated, whereas workplace forum cannot do that. We do not organize strikes as a workplace forum. A trade union is a legal entity, meaning what? It is registered and it can sue or be sued in its name. But with workplace forum, it's the opposite. It's not a legal entity, or rather it cannot sue or be sued. Let's put it that way. So if you are not a union member, then you can belong to a workplace forums. But those two are different, and you can still be in a workplace forum and also be a trade union or be in a member of a trade union. It doesn't matter. All right, we've come to the end of our lesson. Don't forget, the topic was conflict management, and we've learned so much. I hope you've learned so much from today's topic. All right, from me, Miss Maboya, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.